What up? What up? What up? I'm having issues right now. Hopefully, my camera is not skipping. Let me know if my camera is skipping. Cheryl, Stanton, how are you doing? Jonathan, how are you doing? Glad to be back, Corey. Very hopeful for this season coming up. Sucks that Jim left, but Todd said we will keep the same defense, promote Tarver, and let's go. Todd Monken, Jim Schwartz, as we all know, our head coach now is Todd Monken at the ripe age of 59 years old. But Jim Schwartz, as you can see on the thumbnail, the opening screen, he quit. He took his ball and he went home. And we're going to talk about Jim Schwartz. Come on in, hit that like button, subscribe, share, turn on all of your notifications, and we're going to get right into Mr. Jim Schwartz. Now, do you agree with Jim Schwartz's decision? Video is golden. Thank you, my good sir. Do you agree with his decision to quit, to not drop the ball, I shouldn't say that, to take his ball and go home? He's still under contract with the Cleveland Browns. So, if the Browns want to, they can say, hey, you go ahead, but you're not going to coach anywhere. So right now, he can't go anywhere. He is under rights of the Cleveland Browns. Now, when players do this type of thing, everybody gets on the players. You are under contract. How do you demand a trade? How are you say you're going to sit out? Everybody yells at players when they have this type of behavior. So, do you have the same smoke for Jim Schwartz? Or are you giving him a pass because I guess he thought he was a shoo-in for the job? The great things he has done with this defense, he should be able to quit. And maybe the Browns should just let him out of his contract so he can go coach where he wants to go. Let me know. What up, Steve? How are you doing? I'm doing all right. It's cold here in Columbus, Ohio. Snowy and cold, shoveling snow. I don't agree with Jim Schwartz here. Listen, I think he's being a big baby, in my humble opinion. So what? You didn't get the job. People don't get jobs every day. People lose out to the better guy every day. Some people lose out their job, and then they have to train the person that they lost to. It's called life. Welcome to life. Taking your ball and going home, to me, is just immature. It's showing immaturity in Jim Schwartz. Now, I get it. Everybody loved Jim Schwartz here in Cleveland, and I like Jim Schwartz too. I like him. I wish he would have stayed because the players like him. Myles Garrett loves Jim Schwartz. Myles Garrett has had his best seasons under Jim Schwartz. So we are losing a very good coach here. He won 2 Defensive Player of the Years under Jim Schwartz. He won the sack record under Jim Schwartz. So this is nothing to sneeze at. That Jim Schwartz is bye-bye. But at the end of the day, pick up your pants, stop crying, and deal with it. What up, Big Dollar? Nah, I think he was childish and can't believe he is passing up coaching this amazing defense. I don't miss that nonsense at all. Goodbye, snow and ice. Hey, man, me either. I agree with you, Jonathan. As you can see in my opening soliloquy, it's childish. If a player was to do this, let me just say Jerry Jeudy. We all love Jerry Jeudy. Cough, cough. If he decided in his last year of his contract to say, I don't want to play here anymore, I don't feel like I am not getting the value that I'm worth, we would ask for his head on a silver platter. What do you mean? you're not playing. You're going to sit out because you want more money. We would go at Jerry Jeudy with all of our venom. Now, I understand. Jerry Jeudy is not done what he's supposed to do last year. He had a bad year. But I'm just making an example. When it comes to players, we give them all of our smoke. So I think we should hold Jim Schwartz to the same level of smoketivity. Is smoketivity a word? I don't know. So you let me know how you feel about Jim Schwartz. I don't agree with his decision. I think he should coach this defense. The defense has got better. Well, they had a step back in 2023. That's a lie. But they got better this year. They still have that. Thank you, Big Dollar C. Big Dollar, holla, holla. $9.99. Make it $10, YouTube. What are we doing?
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Jeudy isn't going anywhere, Steve. That was just an example. Probably a bad person to use. I probably should have used Myles Garrett, but Jeudy isn't going anywhere. Okay, it was a bad example. His contracts, I don't even know his contract deal. I just pulled somebody out of the sky. But he's ain't going anywhere. But that's how I feel about Jim Schwartz. I don't know what his future holds. Obviously, he can coach defense. But sitting out an entire year because you lost a job is extremely petty, in my humble opinion. Appreciate you, Big Dollar. Hit the like when you come in. Like, share, subscribe. Browns off season is underway. We had a mediocre, that's a lie. We had a bad season this year. There's really nothing that you can get excited about our season. But we did have two players take home some awards during the season. Myles Garrett and Carson Schwartz. I'm going to tell you right now. I owe Carson the biggest apology in the entire world. When they had drafted him, linebacker out of UCLA, I said, what are we doing? Why are we drafting this guy? Get me a receiver. Get me a running back. I don't want this dude. This may have been the worst take and evaluation of a player that I ever did in my entire life. Carson Schwartz, Rookie of the Year, defensive Rookie of the Year, was outstanding this season. And he shocked the holy crap out of me. You could say arguably, no, not arguably, he was the second best defensive player on our team. And he's only going to get better. So I apologize to Carson. He will never see this video because he doesn't know who I am. I'm not popular, but I apologize. And then you have Myles Garrett. What else can I say about Myles Garrett that hasn't been said? He is the best defensive player in the entire NFL. No doubt about it. There's nobody better than Myles Garrett. NFL sack leader, 2 times defensive player of the year, best player on the team, best defensive player in the NFL. He wants to break his own record next year. So my question to you, who is more impressive? Whose award is more impressive? Myles' second defensive player of the year or Carson Schwartz defensive rookie of the year? Did anybody see that coming? When we drafted him, did you go, he's going to win defensive player of the year? I see it. As soon as they drafted him, did you think he was going to win defensive player of the year? Because when Myles Garrett steps on the field, you go, he's probably going to win defensive player of the year. He's that darn good. Even though we suck, he's going to win it. But I don't think anybody, when they drafted Carson Schwartz, said, oh, that's the defensive rookie of the year. And if you did, props to you. So which award is more impressive? Myles Garrett or Carson Schwartz? Let me know in the chat. As far as Schwartz, It hurts, but if you can't get over it, it's time to go. What up, Stephanie? How are you doing? My good friend. Do you think he really cares? He gets number one man in Cleveland. Browns broadcasting being humble by saying he's nobody. What up, man? Thank you so much, Steve, for your kind words. Let me know, which one was more impressive, Myles Garrett or Carson Schwartz? Which award was more impressive, Myles or Carson? Let me know in the chat. And when you let me know, I want to tell you who I think. And actually, it's harder for me to answer than I thought it would be. Because on one hand, you have the best player on the planet on the defense side of the ball, and Myles Garrett. And on the other hand, you have Carson Schwartz, a rookie that just literally, missing joke, he stepped right in and filled that void in JOK that we needed. Even playing injured. What a guy. Myles has a star quality. Myles for me, Myles Garrett. Well. I agree with you. And here's why. Carson Schwartz, listen, I'm not taking nothing away from him. Absolutely nothing. But when it comes to Myles Garrett, everybody, every single person on that team, every single personnel, coaching staff is scheming to stop Myles Garrett. They don't care. Their number one priority is stop number 95. It is what it is. Everybody else is second. Number 95 is first. And when you have a team as bad as Cleveland, an offense as anemic as a 2-year-old raccoon looking for an old staple gun. What does that even mean? I don't know. And he still is able to put up these dominant numbers week after week after week after week. To me, it's a shut case. I didn't think he would get Defensive Player of the Year because our team sucked. We won 5 games. I thought that would take him out of the running. But the NFL said, he's so freaking good, we got to give it to him. He broke a record that nobody thought would be broken. And his team sucks. Could you imagine a world where Myles Garrett is actually able to rush the passer with the lead? Think about that. He actually gets to pin his ears back and attack with a lead. He doesn't get to do that. And he still broke the record. That's why, to me, Myles Garrett is a little bit more impressive than Carson Schwartz. They didn't scheme for him. Nobody knew about him until later on in the year, but they're still planning to take down Myles Garrett. Carson, though, is pretty impressive as a rookie. I'd say Carson with Myles, didn't they rename the reward after him anyways? They should. And I will say this. When it comes to Myles Garrett, I don't think there's an argument no more of who the best defensive player is in football. The best defensive end, that argument is shut. Shut it down. TJ, whoever you want to name, they're second. It's over. The debate is over. Close the door, lock it, throw the key out of the window. Where is my mouse? All right. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Speaking of the defense, who should be the Browns' next defensive coordinator in Cleveland? Let me know in the chat. Who should be the Browns' next defensive coordinator now that Jim Schwartz went bye-bye? Bye-bye. No in sync. Let me know. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Uh-oh. What's going on here? Am I freezing for you guys? My YouTube stream says I am freezing. Am I freezing for you guys? Please say no. Please say no. I appreciate that Myles has only occasional outbursts about this team. He really is a gift. Myles is a gift that keeps on giving. I love to have Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett. Love to have him. Who should be the Browns' defensive coordinator this year? Should they promote within? Should they go looking outside? Whoever it is, they inherit a great defensive unit. Now, you could say it doesn't matter because of who they have. Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, Grant Delpit, Carson Schwartz, Martin Emerson's coming back from an injury, Tyson Campbell. They have the players to be a great defense. But before Jim Schwartz, do we remember Michael Woods? We couldn't get him out of the city fast enough. Nope, all good. All good. Okay. Corey, y'all don't want me. Y'all don't want me, ladies and gentlemen. You do not want me. No, I'll blitz every play. I will blitz every play. Every play. I can't even wrap my head around needing a defensive coordinator at this point. Raheem Morris comes to mind, former head coach of the Falcons. Jared Mayo, former head coach from the New England Patriots, comes to mind as potential candidates, replacements for our guy, Jim Schwartz. Our former guy, Jim Schwartz, could be in line since he no longer wants to be with us. Who knows who Todd Monken wants to get? Maybe he brings in somebody from Baltimore. Previously Baltimore defensive coordinators. It still says I'm freezing. If you're just coming in, let me know. Is the quality good? Because YouTube is yelling at me. Stanton says I'm good though, and so does Cheryl. And if you're just coming in, who do you want as the next defensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns? Put it in the chat. Who do you want to take Jim Schwartz's place? Let me know. Only players to win Defensive Player of the Year twice, LT Donald and JJ Watt. We did talk about that on the Myles Garrett stream. Rick, what up? Tarver, the LB coach, he knows system inside and out. All right. Appreciate you, my guy.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Appreciate you. How are you doing, Rick? How are you? The quality is good. Thank you, Karen. How are you doing? Yes. Listen, We talked about that the other day. Myles Garrett, speaking of Myles Garrett again, he is trying to get into rarefied air this year with Lawrence Taylor, LT, Aaron Donald, and J.J. Watt. They are the only players in NFL history to win the defensive coordinator, the Defensive Player of the Year award back to back. Can he do it? The quality is good? All right. So, Jason Tarver, 6 seasons, linebacker coach with Cleveland. That would be a promotion for him. Rick Adkins, that's who he wants. Promote from within, somebody that knows the system. You don't have to go from the outside, not incorporating anything new. Todd Monken already said, we're running the same stuff. I ain't changing a thing. So that would be a good hire. Is it a sexy hire? No. But it's a good hire. Todd Monken says he wants to keep the same things in place. I ain't mad at it. I always go for the splash name, but sometimes the splash name may not be the right fit. Good man, be better when it warms up. You know, we all hate cold weather. We all hate cold weather. I'd like to see Raheem Morris get a shot. I don't know what he's doing. Jared Mayo, I wouldn't mind either to see him get a look. Those are that's popping off of my head. So we're going to have to see what's going to happen with the defensive coordinator position in Cleveland. But listen, they are set up for success in Cleveland. What up, John's dad? How you doing, my guy? Appreciate you.
Dog check!
And last but not least, what are your expectations for Todd Monken? I don't think anybody in this chat, when the season ended, said, I want Todd Monken for the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. If you did, congratulations for you, because you've seen this hire coming. But I don't think anybody at the end of the year, when the Browns played their last game, I don't think they said, fire Kevin Stefanski and hire Todd Monken. I don't think that came out of any fan's mouth. They wanted somebody else once they fired Kevin Stefanski. But now, since Todd Monken is the head coach, we have had time to sleep on it, time to digest it. What are your expectations for Todd Monken? Will he have a long leash? Will he have time to build a culture with Cleveland? Or will he get the Pete Carroll treatment? If he sucks in his first year, will he be fired? And will we be looking for another coach in 2027? And we all know in 2027, it's a quarterback draft in 2027. So will we be looking for a new coach and a quarterback if we suck? Or will they give him a long leash? What are your expectations for Todd Monken? Sweating it out down here in Ecuador. If you get rid of the artist, yet use the artist's work. I thought Raheem took another. Did he? I don't know if he did or not, Steve. He might have. I'm not dialed in. If he did, take him off the list. I expect another season like the same ones we've had since 99. We've had a couple good ones since 99, Steve. We've had a couple good ones since 99. 2020, 2023, that comes to mind. We've had a couple good ones, but we've had more bad than good ones. I get your point. I see what you're saying. My expectations for Todd Monken is not necessarily wins and loss record. Now I know that is a cop-out answer. It really is. It's a cop-out answer because obviously I want to win more than 5 games, but I want to see how is the team coached? How do they look? Are they disciplined? How do they look in the 2-minute offense? How do they look on 4th down? What kind of calls does he make on 4th down? Does he take points? Does he risk too many 4th downs? How does the offense look? This is why he is brought in, because our offense was anemic. It was non-existent last season. We all said it's time for Kevin to go because the offense isn't good anymore. We didn't have faith that our offense could muster up 17 points, no matter who was in. And when they did, we wanted to throw a party. So yes, I want him to win more than 5 games, obviously, but I want to see how is this team coached. My expectations for Todd Monken is for this team to be buttoned up like an expensive tuxedo, and for this offense, for him to be this offensive guru that they say he is, to look miles, no pun intended, Garrett, better than last season. No matter who's at quarterback, whether it's Shedeur Sanders, whether it's Deshaun Watson, whether it's insert your fantasy quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. And my expectations is for this offense to be miles better than last season and for this team to look prepared every single week. That's my expectations from Todd Monken. Do you think the organization's waiting for Arch Manning since the owner's in love with the Mannings? Hold on that one, Steve. Hold on that. Let me answer you. Hopefully a decent draft and some free agent pickups. Right now, until there is more talent and signings, hard to predict. Wasn't expecting Monken, but seems like a no-nonsense kind of guy. I like that. I have none, just not positive when it comes to the Browns. Don't blame you. Monken was chosen so Schwartz would not be uprooted. They didn't take the time to find out if that would appease Schwartz. Good point, Stephanie. Faith in our offense, Corey. I love you. I hope you never change. I don't believe we're anywhere near looking buttoned up. I think we are so far out of the price range of. Listen, I agree with that. That's why he's got work to do. And I expect him to do that job. As far as the Jim Schwartz comment, I agree. We talked about it on that stream, the hiring of Todd Monken. I don't think anybody thought about Jim Schwartz just quitting. They assumed since Todd Monken would keep Jim Schwartz on staff, Jim Schwartz would stay. They did not take that into the equation. We talked about during the Todd Monken hiring stream, maybe you should talk to Jim Schwartz first before assuming he's going to stay. The Arch Manning question. Steve, you make a good point. And I have talked about this. The Haslams, I'm going to tell you this. If Shedeur Sanders does not look outstanding this season, if he is the starting quarterback and the Browns are teetering the same way they were last season, Arch Manning and Jimmy Haslam, Jimmy's going to do whatever it takes to land Arch Manning in Cleveland. Because at the end of the day, he is in love with Arch Manning. And I think he will do whatever it takes to get Arch Manning. If Shedeur Sanders does not, take a big leap in his second season. Now, when it comes to Shedeur, you already know I like Shedeur Sanders. I don't think he got a fair shake last year. I don't think he even had the chance to rightfully be the starting quarterback. When you had 4 quarterbacks in camp, we all know the story. But I believe that he can improve. I think improve a lot if just given the opportunity. But if you have Jimmy Haslam and he has a chance at getting Arch Manning, that means Cleveland is in the position again to get a high draft pick. I think he's taking him because that's what he always wanted, is Arch Manning in a new stadium. He loves him like it's his own son. So I think that's the route he would go if Cleveland is bad again. Now, if Cleveland's good, Shedeur's playing well, I don't think he would go that route. But time will tell. And I could be completely wrong. But we'll see. Tuxedo's laughable. Jimmy's not worried about Manning. He got Shedeur. Y'all don't get it? Okay. Big Bell. Obviously, you don't know Arch Manning. I mean, not Arch Manning. You don't know Jimmy Haslam. He is in love with Arch Manning like Deion Sanders loves Shedeur Sanders. Except Deion Sanders is actually his dad. Jimmy Haslam just loves him like he is his dad. Arch Manning, that is. But just my opinion. We will see what happens. What in the world happened to my headphones? I don't know. We will see what happens with Cleveland, with the hirings of the defensive coordinator position, and what else is going to happen in Browns land over the next months. Super Bowl Sunday, I got the Seahawks over the Patriots. I just think that the Patriots' road to the Super Bowl has been a little easy. And I think running into this Seattle defense, I think Seattle's offense is going to be just good enough to win the football game. If Denver had Bo Nix last week, Denver would be in the Super Bowl. So I believe the Seahawks are going to win. I think they win by double digits as well. I think they're going to win by double digits tonight. Sam Darnold's going to get a Super Bowl. They're going to bring up the Jets for not keeping Sam Darnold. They're going to bring up the Vikings for letting him go. So we'll see what happens. What up, Scott? How are you doing? What up, Mike? You guys are popping in, and I'm about to leave. But I appreciate you all for coming into the stream. We'll see what happens with Cleveland. We'll see who they hire as a defensive coordinator, and we'll talk again. So, until next time, my dear, dear friends, you guys know the drill. It's all love. Peace.